We need to move on, but I feel we all need to take a big breath. Because this is amazing. This is when I turned over the page, and this is once in a lifetime. It is an amazing itinerary. It's something you'll think, oh, I've got to do this. And I'll tell you where we're going to start off. We're going to start off at New South Wales, and we fly over to Sydney. We have a 2-night stay in a 4-star hotel there. And let's have a little look at Sydney itself, which is where you're going to start your holiday.
Yeah, you do. Now, the most amazing thing about this is I've got to say right now, this is probably the most intense, most detailed chance to explore New Zealand and Australia I've ever seen on the show, and certainly the 2 years I've been here. Starting off in Sydney, you've got the great chance there to see the Harbour Bridge, or the coat hanger as the locals call it. Great chance to walk along there for the views. Sydney's great because it's edged with bush all around the edge of the harbour. Wherever you go, you can't escape the outback. You've got the amazing beaches. You can walk along from Bronte Beach all the way to Coogee Beach on the cliff tops there, or maybe do it as a run as I did, which is great. You've got a great surfing culture. Everything is outdoors in Australia. The people love to live outdoors, and you can get into that vibe. Head out into the harbour to maybe see the dolphins swimming. Head over to to Bonsai Beach, over to Manly. Use the ferry service, which is really, really good. Head out into the Blue Mountains. See the Marlborough Wine District open up before in front of you, and taste some of those gorgeous Australian wines. If you want to trace back the history, maybe even use some of your ancestors that were sent over when Australia was first, I'm not going to say created, but when certainly modern day Australia, the origins were traced back to the area called the Rocks, and that's where the first penal colony was, and you can trace back the history there in the walls of the pubs. It's quite incredible, really interesting. And if you get a chance, definitely try some local coffee and some local food, because the restaurants out in Australia and in Sydney are first class.
Yeah. And that's just the beginning, because then we're getting on to Radiance of the Sun. Oh my word. This, again, another magnificent ship.
Yeah, she is. And a little bit different in class this time. This is a Radiance class ship.
Right, what does that mean?
Radiance of the Seas is a little bit smaller than some of the other ships we've talked about today. But again, beautiful solarium, a choice of various pools there, hot tubs. All these solariums are kind of themed as well, Indian, African. It's really nice. We also have the sports court there, and what you can see right now is one of our top accommodations. So that would be one of the top suites that you can see on the footage at the moment. But again, all of our ships have had these enhancements, so they will all have, like things like outdoor movie screen, digital wayfinders where you can easily find your way around the ship.
Really handy.
And the spa is always a great area for people that, they want a lot out of it. Now, I have to talk about this area here. This is stunning. This is the centrum area that you would have on any Radiance or Vision class ship, and that's the heartbeat of the ship. We have now entertainment aerial performances there, which are stunning. This choice has this ship has a lovely choice of restaurants also. But one of the nice things about this ship is that you can actually, if you decide to eat in the Windjammer Marketplace, you can actually eat outside as well. So, and that's always a nice option when you're on holiday. But of course, all of the ships now have more choice of dining, more entertainment, and everything that Royal Caribbean are doing with their enhancements, with their investments, is at the heart of the guest experience. They want to improve everything, they want to move on. What's available today is different from what was available, 5-7 years ago. But these ships are beautiful, and they are just that little bit different from the other class that we've been speaking about.
The big thing for Royal Caribbean is the fact that some people, particularly who haven't cruised before, will think, oh, these ships look really, really big, and how am I going to find my way around? But the great thing for Royal Caribbean, as you mentioned, is the Wayfinder system, which features on board your ships, and there are all the major places where you get off a lift. There's a Wayfinder system there, and you can literally find a restaurant, you can find where you are. You've even got a function that says, I've drunk one beer too many, and it shows you where the nearest toilet is.
Brilliant.
And it's really interactive, it's really fun, and again, it's something the Royal Caribbean introduced, which really makes it a lot easier, particularly for first-time cruisers and even for experienced cruisers.
It just sounds incredible, as does these 37 nights. So we start off in Sydney. We've had our stay in Sydney, but now we're getting on board the Radiance of the Seas.
Yeah.
So where are we heading to next?
Okay, forgive me now. I'm going to have to go really quickly because we've got so much to get in. It's incredible. Okay, so you've had that. Yeah, you've had that time in Sydney. You get on board the ship. 32 nights cruising, couple of days at sea. They can be relaxing. They can be energetic. They can be whatever you want them to be because it's Royal Caribbean. I think that's what Sharon was saying there. Your first port of call is Wellington. It's New Zealand's capital. Stunning views of forested peninsulas, dramatic cliffside homes, and fine Victorian buildings. And you can do a Lord of the Rings tour. Go and say hello to Gandalf and Frodo. Okay, then we're going to Akarawa, or I'm always terrible with my pronunciation there, so do tell me if I've got that wrong. It's on the eastern shores of New Zealand's South Island. It's a little slice of France sitting in the shadow of the snow-capped southern Alps with secluded beaches and quaint boutiques and a harbour full of the rare Hector dolphins. Then we're going through to Dunedin, and this is a little slice of Scotland. They always call it the Edinburgh of New Zealand, and you might even hear the bit of the bagpipes. Try some of the local haggis. It's also home to New Zealand's only castle. So do go and see that and see great views from there. Now we're going to head through 3 fjords, essentially. They're called sounds out here, and they're incredible. They're so stunning. Think about the fjords on an even grander scale. Steep cliffs that have been carved over centuries by dozens of waterfalls. And you've got, first of all, Doubtful Sound, Dusky Sound, Doubtful Sound, and Milford Sound. The 3 there to enjoy. You're going to see a photo of them now. Just look at that and imagine sailing through. And again, if you've watched the Lord of the Rings films, then you will feel like Frodo in a little boat heading towards his final destination. My mind fails me.
That's stunning.
Relaxing days at sea before you then go over to Australia, and your first port of call in Australia, Melbourne, a sophisticated, slick bohemian city full of character-filled neighbourhoods, got a great art scene, really, really good fun place to go and eat out again. And if I would make a recommendation of one tour, explore the exciting gold rush days of Australia's past and do the Puffing Billy train. It's a century-old train which runs on the original mountain track through some of the old ranges. Okay, then we've got relaxing day at sea before we go to Adelaide. Quite a rare port to pull into. Tree-lined boulevards, great Victorian and Edwardian architecture, but this is the big chance for you to go to the Barossa and Eden Valleys. If you're a wino like me, head out there for some great bargains and to see the viticulture in its essence. It's beautiful. Then we're going through to, this is very rare, Esperance. First time it's ever featured on the show. One of the first times I've ever seen it featured in an itinerary on board a ship. Full of dramatic white sandy beaches, gorgeous coastline. Look at the colour of the sea there, and also beautiful orchids. It's known for its flowers, this area of Australia, and you're going to see gorgeous flowers. So if you are a flower lover, head here. Relaxing day at sea before we go to Fremantle, or Perth as you might know it. This is the gateway to the wild west of Australia. It has 3,000 hours of sunshine a year. Oh, I feel so jealous. Swan River Cruise is the great thing to do here. Head down the river, past the Royal Perth Yacht Club and the Millionaires Row, or head out, if you can, to a magnificent marina and aquarium. And the aquarium is a total walk-through aquarium with these huge glass viewing platforms where you can see all the wildlife, underwater wildlife of Australia brought up close for you. Because it means you don't have to get wet. Okay, then we're going through to Geraldton. Again, first time this is featured on the show. It's the capital of what we call the Bateva Coast, and it's a great chance for you to again explore beauty, pristine beaches. And this is a great also place for windsurfers. I know the whole of Australia is known for its windsurfing, but you'll see a lot of them here. A lot of those tanned, bronzed men, Hayley, Sharon, you'll love that. You know what I mean?
It's getting better and better.
Oh, exactly. Book it now, book it now.
Shall I get off and stay there?
And there's also great lobster here, and plus that, it's the Principality of Hutt River. It's one of the world's oldest micronations.
Fabulous.
They're separated in 1970. Okay, then we're going through to Port Hedland, another unique place. Again, beautiful beaches, mangroves, and 31 different Aboriginal groups call this home. So there's lots of rock carvings, lots of history here to trace back Australia's ancient roots. I'd recommend you do that. Relaxing day at sea before we then go over to Bali, Indonesia. You know, there's over 17,000 Indonesian islands. Bali's probably the most well-known. It's beautiful. You've got all the beaches, you've got all the big hotels on the outside, but head inland to the rice paddies. Head inland to the hills full of temples that are so magical. Go and watch the Ketchuk, the fire dance, and see them bring the story of Hanuman, the monkey god, to life in front of you. It's an incredible place. Ubud Monkey Forest is a great place to go and see the long-tailed monkeys swinging through the cork forests. And just look at that. Some of this imagery here will blow your mind. Relaxing days at sea before we head to Darwin, named after Darwin, okay? It's closer to Indonesia than any other Australian city. And of course, he stopped there, Darwin, on HMS Beagle in 1839. Best thing to do here is to head out to the World Heritage Kakadu Park, which is a great combination of lush rainforest, and you see this guy, the Jesus bird. Why is he called the Jesus bird? He walks on water. Okay, relaxing days at sea. Before we then go over to Cairns, and this is great, one of Australia's most exciting destinations because it features 3 great things to do. First of all, you have the Great Barrier Reef on your front doorstep. Okay, then you also have 26 miles of the famed Marlin Coast, which is stunning. Yorkeys Knob. I used to love announcing that on the show, saying we're in Yorkeys Knob tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, you can also head into one of the oldest sections of rainforest in the world, the Kurunda National Park. Relaxing days at sea before you then go through to Brisbane, or what the locals call Brisvegas. 600 miles north of Sydney, the Golden Sunshine Coast on your front doorstep, Steve Irwin's Zoo on your front doorstep full of crocodiles and kangaroos. But the best thing to do, cruise down the Brisbane River, go to the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary and cuddle a koala. It's one of the only places in Australia where you can cuddle a koala. And if you've not done it, doesn't matter if you've been married for 50 years, you will prefer a cuddle from a koala. They were built to cuddle. They are amazing. They are amazing.
This is absolutely breathtaking.
And breathe.
Oh, that's it. That was fabulous. And then we're back to Sydney and you are back home. But what a variety of amazing, such unusual ports as well. Amazing itinerary on board a stunning ship as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ship. I've talked about it before. It is the Radiance class. It's so popular. Probably looks a little bit more traditional inside. You know, we have a lot of wood inside and a lot of glass as well. But absolutely, what an amazing way to see all those beautiful places on this ship.
What's that you see at the top there? That's the top wraparound bar, isn't it? Can you see? It looks like almost like something out of Star Trek, right at the back there. Explain that to us. That's
okay. So that area is called the Viking Crown Lounge, and it's a 360-degree lounge area where you're going to get unparalleled views of the ship and the surrounding scenery. So it's a lovely place to do sailaways or sailing in the mornings, and in the evenings sometimes they use it for entertainments, or in some of the ships it could turn into a nightclub. But it's all, again, with the money that's been reinvested, the whole ship, you could walk onto these ships and think, this looks brand new.
It is incredible. Have a look at what's included. You've got so much included. Think of all those amazing places that you're seeing. If you want to get regional flights, of course it's Planet Cruises. They will sort that out for you. Of course, you're staying in Sydney as well, including that 32 nights on board that Royal Caribbean International, the Radiance of the Seas. You really have got once in a lifetime. I'm thinking special anniversaries, special birthdays. It's that amazing trip. Your ID number there is 83955. That is an experience you will never ever forget. And jot down that phone number, 0800 781 5458. Of course, you can jump onto the website, but do get onto the phones because they've been to all these places. They are the most helpful people. When I booked my cruise, I couldn't believe how easy it was and how I suddenly felt that I'd been and I knew where I was going, and they could advise, you know, excursions and book those excursions ahead of time as well. So sort everything out with Planet